Our story today is known as the match that stopped a war. It was December 1914. World War I had only just begun its brutal reign, but already, the battlefields of Europe were a desolate landscape of mud, blood, and a chilling, pervasive silence. In the labyrinthine trenches, soldiers lived in a constant state of tension, mere meters away from their enemy. British soldiers on one side, their faces grimed with dirt and weariness. German soldiers on the other, equally exhausted. And between these opposing lines lay a deadly, desolate stretch of land, a barren wasteland known only as no man's land. It was Christmas Eve. The air was frigid, biting deep into their bones. The soldiers were cold, tired, and profoundly hungry, their thoughts drifting far from the front lines to the warmth of home and family. Then, amidst the ever-present threat of battle, something truly unexpected happened. From the German trenches, a sound began to rise, tentative at first, then growing clearer. A single pure voice. A German soldier began to sing, "Stille Nacht, Heilige Nacht," Silent Night. British soldiers looked up, their faces etched with surprise, their expressions a mix of disbelief and wonder. "Are they singing?" one whispered, barely audible above the distant rumble of artillery. "That's a Christmas carol," another replied, the words hanging in the crisp night air. Soon the British soldiers answered, their own voices joining in, creating a spontaneous chorus that carried across the frozen ground. For a few precious minutes, the harsh sounds of war faded away. Instead, the battlefield sounded less like conflict and more like the comforting melodies of home. The next morning, a thick ethereal fog still clung to the battlefield, obscuring the grim reality of the front. Slowly, tentatively, a figure emerged from the German trench. It was a German soldier, his hands raised high in a gesture of peace. He called out across the stillness, his voice echoing, "Merry Christmas!" British soldiers hesitated, their rifles still clutched tightly, aimed into the mist. But then an officer's voice cut through the tension, clear and firm. "Hold your fire!" And with that command, one by one, soldiers from both sides began to step out of their trenches and into no man's land. Men who had been ordered to kill each other just hours before now found themselves shaking hands. They exchanged small, precious gifts, cigarettes, a rare luxury. They shared what little food they had, a gesture of unexpected camaraderie. They pulled out crumpled photographs of their families, wives, children, parents, reminding each other of the lives they had left behind, the humanity that bound them. And then, according to several accounts that have survived through history, someone produced a football. A worn leather ball, perhaps scuffed and muddy, was dropped onto the frozen, uneven ground. A British soldier, his face still etched with wonder, asked, "You Germans play football?" The German soldier, a wide grin spreading across his face, retorted, "Of course. Better than you." Laughter, real uninhibited laughter, erupted then. Not the nervous kind, but genuine, hearty, human laughter that cut through the tension of war. There were no stadium lights here, only the pale winter sky. No whistle-blowing referee to call fouls. No roaring partisan crowd. No shiny trophy to win. Just soldiers, their boots sinking into the mud and snow, and a simple leather ball. For a short, incredible time, this deadly battlefield transformed into an impromptu football pitch. The very ground that had witnessed so much death, so much despair, now echoed with shouts of joy, friendly insults, and unexpected camaraderie. The same men who had aimed rifles at each other were now chasing the same ball, united in the simple, pure fun of the game. "Pass it here!" a British soldier would shout, his voice filled with a familiar enthusiasm. "Too slow!" a German soldier would retort, as everyone laughed when someone inevitably slipped and tumbled into the mud, momentarily forgetting the war. Nobody knows the exact score of that match or matches. Some accounts claim the Germans won. Others suggest there were several small games breaking out spontaneously across different sections of the front. Historians still debate how organized these football games truly were or how widespread. But the meaning of this story, its enduring power, is far, far bigger than any score or historical detail. For one Christmas, football did what politics, diplomacy, and military orders could not. It reminded enemies that they were, above all else, human. It allowed them to see the man behind the uniform, the shared humanity that transcended the rival flags and the brutal conflict. That evening, as dusk began to fall and the bitter cold deepened, Officers from both sides reluctantly called their soldiers back to the trenches. The unofficial truce, a fragile bubble of peace, had to end. The war, with all its horrors and demands, would resume. But for a brief, miraculous moment in December 1914, the spirit of Christmas and the universal language of a football game brought an unexpected, profound peace to the front lines. It stands as a powerful, poignant story of humanity. Emerging from the very depths of war,